guys, and welcome to Defining Deborah. Hey. Okay, so I have a couple of things I want to discuss today, and first, I tell you what, I do live in the country, but you know, one thing I can appreciate about my neighbors in the city when I lived up there, is that they went by the ordinance of the dog law. My neighbor has a brown big old pit bull. When I first started living there, they had 3. I called a pound, they ended up picking up 2. Well, little did I know that when they would pick up the dogs, her grandson was bringing another one. That's what my neighbor told me today. So, my thing is, all of a sudden, you know, normally when I come outside, if I see it and I say get, it'll run away. Because I'm not a dog hater. Y'all know I have a dog, Parker. But I have arthritis in my knees, and I'm 57, and I'm not trying to do a big fast sprint from going to my mailbox. So for the last couple of days, whenever I come outside, the dog is sitting there and it starts barking and charging across my front yard. So normally I take a broom, or I have an old shower curtain rod that I use, but this is getting ridiculous. I had called the pound and they came. Today was the 3rd time. First time they said they didn't think anybody lived in the house because it looked so bad. Second time they came and she said she didn't want to release the dog, but you don't want to tie the dog up either. So today I sent them a hot little email telling them that I had, you know, contacted them on numerous occasions. They did come out, but they didn't pick up the dog, and that you know, I couldn't be running from the dog, and if they chose not to come and pick the dog up, then I would take matters into my own hands, which I am. I'm letting you all know I am. Hey Lynn, hey Hal, soon to be. I am going to do that because this is ridiculous that I cannot go out of my house and Parker can't go out because of this damn dog. So my neighbor was saying that he was sick of the dog too, because the dog is coming and pooping on our porches. So I had an old, when Parker was real little, I had this doggy fence thing that I had him in, and he's outgrown it. So I used that to cover the opening to my porch, because of the fact that when I would come out in the morning, I would have a little surprise because her dog is pooping on our porches. I guess the dog don't like us, so it just comes over and poops on our porch. So, yeah, I stopped him from doing that, so I guess he decided to go next door. So my neighbor's not very happy about that. He shot at one of the other dogs. I am not into killing a dog, but my thing is this. You're going to stop coming to my house and messing with me. This, you know, makes no sense. Okay, so that's my little rant about the dog. What I really want to talk about today, 3 words. Negro, Black, and African American. I, being an African American 57-year-old female, have lived in the United States predominantly my whole life. I have lived in other countries due to me being in the military. So I have been able to see racism here in the United States and abroad. And right now, with the pandemic, with the coronavirus, I am mortified, appalled, upset. There's just so many words that I could use about the fact that the majority of the people who are dying are black and brown people. Not just African Americans, a lot of Hispanics are too. And no one seems to care. Now, it is twofold. One is, our communities are not taking this virus seriously, and we're still congregating with each other as if when somebody has a birthday, you gotta have a party. Everybody's out of school and work, so let's have barbecues and get together, play some cards. They're not taking it seriously enough, which means then it's easier for the virus to spread if somebody has it. Also, because we know economically, historically, African Americans do not have health insurance, because just to take health insurance out of your pay, if you're a minimum wage worker or even a little bit above, it takes out too much money. You can't afford it. So if you don't have Medicaid or Medicare, you don't have anything. You just figure if something really happens, I'll just go to the doctor and make a bill. Well, unfortunately now, with this going on, a lot of people have other health conditions, or either they may have conditions that they don't know about, or they haven't taken care of, they haven't been to the doctor in a while, and so now this coronavirus is just running rampant in our neighborhoods. Secondly, because of the disproportionate number of people, of African Americans compared to Caucasians, who don't get the health care they need, that's why we're dying. Plus, I guarantee it is hard enough to get a test in the United States, and I guarantee where they're not testing it, in the hood, you have to be Caucasian with money to be able to get a test, or a celebrity, athlete, somebody with money, you'll get a test. But for the poor people who really need to get a test, not happening. Not happening whatsoever. So now, on top of that, if that was not bad enough, we have the Chinese. Now, this is what's killing me. Mind you, the Chinese, or China, was where the virus first came out of. But now they're trying to say, first it was a bat, but now they're trying to say that the Africans brought the coronavirus to China. Really? Really? Because if that was the case, then how come it didn't start in Africa? Somebody help me with that. Why didn't it start there? No, they just want an scapegoat. So now you have Africans who are living in China not being able to purchase food, go into places, buy things, because they are actually literally putting signs up saying that they are not going to serve any Africans in China, and it's okay. But mind you, when this first kicked off and our president kept saying it was the China virus and all that, and Asians were being discriminated against, we all stood up as Americans and was like, that's just wrong. You shouldn't do that because they're not responsible for the virus. So where's the voice now? Where's the voice saying that it's wrong for China to discriminate against black and brown people just like the Asians were being done over here? No voice, nobody cares, because we've always been expendable. From the time they brought us from Africa, and any other port they might have picked us up from, we have always been expendable, and it has not changed even in 2020. I was livid when I seen that the virus, the drug that they're using for the virus, is being tested on African children. So you're telling me that little black girls and boys are not as important as little white girls and boys, little Asian boys and girls, little Italian boys and girls, little German boys and girls? Then I come to find out, I kept saying, me and my friends kept saying, wow, why is it that Africa has the least amount of cases of the coronavirus? There was only small little pockets where you could see where they were showing that people had the virus. Well, that was simply because they wasn't testing nobody. Why? Because they're black, because they're Africans. Who cares if the Africans in the jungle or in the huts or in the towns, in the shanties, got the virus? They don't care. They probably were only testing Europeans and the other lighter skinned Africans who were over there, and that's where their numbers came from. So due to that, some of the Africans over there were upset and had an uproar. They went and they trashed a coronavirus testing lab because they weren't being tested. Everybody else is being tested, but they weren't being tested. So why should I care about your little lab if you're not going to test me? Why? Can somebody just tell me why in 2020 is it that I am still so hated simply because the color of my skin? What in the hell have I done to anybody other than been born in the skin that I am in? I am not sad about being a black woman, an African American woman, a Negro, whatever you choose to call me this 20 years. What I am appalled about is that these people still, till this day, seem to think that I'm inferior. I'm not as intelligent. I can't achieve as much as them. Then now we're to the point that I should not even live because you've decided that I'm expendable. Well, let me tell you what, United States, China, Africa, we're not putting up with it anymore. Our ancestors, their backs was beaten bloody. The women were raped, the children were sold so that I could be here and have a voice. And this voice says it's going to stop now. If I have to get on YouTube every day and bring it up, the fact that we are not as important as everybody else, I will. And whatever else I need to do. Only thing that I ask of my brothers and sisters is be mindful. When you're gathering together and you don't know who has what, just know the Caucasians in the United States and definitely your president could care less whether you're here or not. So you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of you and your family and your friends. And that may mean that y'all can't congregate together with each other for a little while. But that's okay, because this thing isn't going to last forever. We're going to have a new normal, and it may mean that we're still going to have to do a lot of things that we're doing now. But what I say to you is, take care of yourself, because your government and your president does not care about you. They would much rather it be less African Americans when this whole coronavirus thing gets settled. And do know, if a virus is made, you won't be the first one in line to be able to get it. So, I love you guys. Please be safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Wear some gloves. Love yourself enough to be able to take care of yourself. Thank you for tuning in to Defining Deborah. Please subscribe. Hit the bell. Love you. Bye.